Oh, here I am. Here I am with, well, welcome back to the grind. And for you, those of you that are, I'll mention this later, Monty Python fans, here's something completely different. This is a 1974 Hurricane Hovercraft. And I bought it last fall sometime. A little bit of footage of when I brought it home, just what it looks like. Went up to Ontario, picked it up, and brought it home on a trailer just for fun. I wanted to go and visit some friends up there anyway, and it was a good excuse for a road trip. So now when it came, and if you follow along, you'll see the previous owner of it had a good plan. He had decided to put a more powerful motor in, a 90 horsepower. Originally, it came with a 40 horsepower motor, and he acquired a 90 horsepower Rotax, like a Skidoo engine for it, and then he got a upgraded fan for it and a drive system that works, and he designed all that and then put it together and actually did a pretty good job of it. His original plan was just to drop this right down and put it on here. I decided I got some Skidoo motor mounts and put them in, and they seem to be all right, so we'll see how that works out. But what it turns out to is that you need a bigger fan. It's got a bigger fan, and it needs larger cowling around here. So I have to modify the original cowling and modify. Where is that piece? Where is that piece? This piece here, to make it bigger. So that's what this will be, a bigger version of that, and that'll go inside and tunnel the air into it. Anyhow, if you stick around, you'll see all that going on, but kind of halfway interesting. And I've had the shop dog around quite a bit, so hope you enjoy it all, and come on back for more. Like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. If you're watching it and you haven't subscribed, please do. See you next week. See what's going on then. Yeah, just turn the other way. That's all right. So, here I am. It's any of you Monty Python fans? Now for something completely different. This thing here has got the potential to be a hovercraft. First off, I gotta take it apart. There's two pieces here. It's like a boat underneath, eh? Just at the very worst, I've got a rowboat. But take it apart and then see what's supposed to be underneath there. I think I'll just have to take it apart and flip over this top bit, because I think there's some pieces that hook in underneath that are integral to mounting the motor and things like that. There used to be a bunch of holes in here that the previous owner filled in because he had redesigned this bit here. It's got a hole there for whatever reason. Don't know. And there's a hole the same on the other side for whatever reason. Also don't know. But I'll endeavor to get it together and see what happens. It's a interesting thing. At the very least, it's interesting. At the very worst, it's going to be a pain. So anyhow, I'll take apart. It's just mocked up together here. So when I bought it, the previous owner had it all mocked up to make it look like a hovercraft. And I think if you look in, maybe I'll find a clip from when I brought it down here and had it sort of stuck together. I'll find a clip and stick that in there, so it shows you what it looks like. Anyhow, see what I can do. See what happens. Here it is. It's a Hurricane. It was made in 1974, and I was able to find it on the internet. But I haven't been able to find any like plans or drawings for it, just so how it's supposed to be put together. I'll see what I can find. So here's the mock-up of the propulsion system. So it's got a nice aluminum type of carriage, and the seller very, very kindly gave me this stand for it. Then Rotax 90 horsepower, 2000 or 1998 variety, perhaps. Electric start, 2-cylinder, oil injected 2-stroke, right? Bombardier. And then this is like the flywheel here, and that's the wind generator there. That's a good wind generator, that's for sure. So I'll see if I can figure out. So now, what I thought was going to happen was I'd undo all these bolts, and the top and the bottom would come apart, but it seems that they're molded at the factory that way. And there's a lot of pieces that have to bolt through here, and I wonder how you get your arms into there to bolt them. I'll lift it up and have a look underneath and see what's going on, because it seems to be a sealed structure. Previous owner must have had a plan, but I don't know what it was. Anyway, I'll just see what I can come up with. Yeah, so the previous owner did have a plan. He's got all these things here, and then contraption for putting it in. So I'll do a tester. Looks like I'm down to my last million of those rivets. So I'll do a tester on this piece here. I don't think is in today's build. I think that it's taken over by another piece. I don't know if you can see in the middle there, that's where the motor mounts. I think that's everything there. Then this piece here, which came with it, it's a diverter for something. It goes right here. How does it go? Like this. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Like that. I had it up here a minute ago. Can't remember how. There it is. It's that right there. So it sits right on there, and it catches air there, and it puts it out here. For whatever reason, it's something in the design of it. Then it looks like there's maybe a couple of repairs to the hull right here for one. But for the most part, it's a solid hull. It could be, like, it's definitely not going to leak once I fix up that repair there and a little bit of repair right there. I think that it's a solid hull. So, anyway, I'll see what happens here. Coming up soon. Yeah, so there you go. That seems to work okay. The device is a little bit, well, a little bit crude, but it seems to work. You need to put a bunch of grease on here to make sure it moves easily, and then it works better. And you can't over tighten it, because then it'll get a bit of a it'll start pulling sideways on the thing. So what I'll do, I think what I'll do is there's the right size drill. This I don't want to lose. Yeah. Sorry, there's the right size drill, and you drill the hole, put the thing in, and then tighten it down. So I'll put a bunch of like gasket sealer on each one, I think, just to, give it a little bit of a don't know for sure what to put in there. A gasket sealer, I guess, would be as good as anything to put in there. Anyway, I'll think about it for a while. Yeah, the inspector's in here inspecting. Purring at it. There you are. So, that's the start of something different. This hole here, I might just drill that out a bit bigger and put a plug in, a removable plug, so that I can drain water easily from there. And it's also got a hole for a plug at the back here, so I've got plugs that'll fit that, I think. And so, cool. I think the hull is intact, except for that hole right there, which likely was left intentionally to be able to be a drain plug. train hole. There's another. This is part of the thing, whatever that thing is, the diverter, little diverter. Don't know what that diverter is supposed to do, but it does something. Must do something important. So I don't think I should ignore it. Okay, well there you go. That's something completely different started. We'll just see how it might not take long to get it put together. Yeah, here I am back at the Hurricane Hovercraft. Hey. Anyway, the previous owner had this all manufactured. I think he manufactured it himself. It's all aluminum and welded up, and this is the drive shaft for the blade. So the motor will mount right here. Then there's a flywheel thing on there, and it's connected to the motor. So you just tighten by a belt. So you just tighten the belt by shimming this up. So shim it up however many shims it needs to go. It can move quite a bit, and that'll tighten the belt. Then the whatever you call that thing, the propeller will sit on front here, pushing air that way, push air. Now when his original plan, I don't think he didn't call for motor mounts, but I think motor mounts would be not a bad idea to have in there. It raises it up another 1.5 inches and makes it some sort of distance between, like a barrier between the hull and the motor, and that's likely a good thing to stop some of the vibrations. So now, how do I get that all to mount on there and get it centered? So I'll have to get that all centered up so that this is in this thing here is in the center, and it's straight that way, right? Okay. But I think that's where the motor mount will go here, 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 and here, and here. And those, like I'm pretty sure I'll be all right with just those rivet type nuts on the, what do they call those nuts? I don't know what they call them, but I'll be all right with that at the back here. And then I'll put a bolt right through and put a steel washer behind that, like a steel. I'll manufacture a piece of steel to go in behind that so that it's solid. And it's got holes here, 1, 2 holes there to get some bolts into it for somehow or other. So we'll figure it out. Okay, I'm working on it. Yeah, so the motor mounts have 5/16 bolts in them, and that should be more than enough to hold this thing together. So I'll just start working on figuring this out. Yeah, there now I've got my, I don't know, can you see that, the laser level up there? I'll just go up and show you. So I got this laser level thing set up, right? And it's pointing out, can you see the red line there? That's right in the center, up here at this end. And then, if you want to know where the center of the line is on the garage door, it's right there. But also, right here, you can see that on my hand there. That's the center here. So now that defines the center, all right. So I'll mark the center on that thing, then I'll know where that is. Then I can start centering stuff, right? Oh, that was easier than I anticipated. Now I just got to get my pen out, put a couple of marks on it, and then we'll be able to go from there. So right there is the center. Right there is the center. Now, I'm just going to put a couple of marks down in here so I know where the center is, right there. Then over here, I might have to put the laser to the other end here and line it up going this way so that I can get marked center in here, right? So I'll do that. But I'll put a couple of center marks here because this line here wasn't as straight as I could have made it, right? There's center. center. Oops, a little bit off. Center. And it's good there. Now I took this hole in the back here to be center, and I think it is because this pointy thing comes to the center too. So that's, anyhow, now I'll turn it around the other way and I'll get the center marked on the back of that thing so I know where it is down here. Okay, hang on. Yeah, so I've moved this to this end now and pointing on the line here all the way to the other end. You can see it up there, right on my hand. So then I've got a black mark underneath there where the center is. So I'll see if I can get those dots all joined together, and then it'll be a good center line. I'll turn on some lights and see what I have. Yeah, that should be the way it is. So this is 16 inches across here, so 8 inches from the center to the outside, right? And then I found the center and where the holes line up, and that's pretty good. Everything's right. So that should be straight on. Famous last words. So if I can get that mounted on the what do you call it, on the motor mounts. So I'll set up the motor mounts so that they're in. I'll get one set here, about one set about here. Yeah, just in behind, just directly behind the. Then the motor sits on here later. So I'll start working on that. Yeah, there didn't get much farther today. Had to go and do some things, and then some people showed up. Oh, it's a busy place some days, especially on a holiday, which is today. Anyway, I've got marked the center along here, where this, and then I'll decide where I'm going to drill a hole. So I'll drill a bigger hole on the top and a small hole in the bottom, and so I can get a bolt through there and a wrench through there. Anyhow, I'll show you as I get there. That's all for today. See you soon. Yeah, so here I am back at it with the Hovercraft. Now this part here, this is upside down now. I've drilled the holes. I drilled just a pilot hole through where I want to put my motor mounts. I'll show you. So motor mount will go here, 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 and here. And they just take a 5/16 inch Allen key thing, right? Which will go in there. And then it's got a rubber thing there to keep it from backing out. So I've drilled, this is the bottom. I drilled holes 5/16 there, 5/16 there, and so on. And now I'm going to turn it over and drill a larger hole on the top. I don't even know what size it's going to be. It's going to be whatever that is. And then that'll make it so I can get a wrench, or get this plus a little washer and a lock washer down into there. I don't need a lock washer, I just need a washer, because it's sort of like there's a rubber thing here to keep it from backing out. It screws into rubber. Then once they're on, I can just mount it on the machine, mark where the holes go for these things here, the rivet things, whatever. I don't know what these things are called. Maybe there's a name on them here. No name. See what these are. 1/4 by 1. Nope. Oh, there's all sorts of washers there. That's everything I need. Everything you want plus more. Everything you never wanted plus more is here. Washers and lock washers. Came fully equipped. Even has an Allen key. I wonder if that's the right one. Wrong one for that, but that's okay. Anyhow, we'll endeavor to get it done. motor mounts are all on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 up here, 1, 2, and you can look, I don't know if you can see through there, but there's a bolt in there. See? There, that one there has got some light in it. You can see the bolt in there is an Allen key thing, so that you can have to reach right through this hole here, all the way in to get that tightened up, but it's tight. Now I'll just see how it fits on the machine here. You want to watch? You can watch. See what happens here. Somewhere around there. Maybe I'll put it over here. See how your view is there. How's that view? Not bad? Not bad. There's a little bit of a gap underneath there. I wonder if that's I could likely shim that up a little bit, see how that goes. Yeah, I'll build a shim in there to make that fit a bit better. And this side, this end here, like there's a little bit of a dip in the body there, but I think that'll pull it up a bit. And we'll see what happens here. Like the measurement on that part there might not be perfect, eh? But if I shim a little bit in the front of that, then might be kind of good. We'll just see how is it for level. I wonder how it is along here for level. Not quite. So if I leveled this, then I could level that. Have a look here. Yeah, so that's not as going to come up quite a bit. I'll see if I can level this bit, and then I'll level I'll see if I can level up the boat, and then I can level up that thing there. Hang on. Yeah, there I leveled up the boat, and this thing here is mostly level. Not perfect, but I think we're close enough. Across this way it's nice and level, right? And across this way pretty close, like it slopes back a bit, but I'm pretty sure that won't make a big difference to the hole. I don't think it'll make any difference at all, because there's more whoops and doos in the hole than that little bit of unlevel. So now I'll just go and I'll mark where these holes have to be in here, and then I'll make a metal strip to go underneath there, so that it's gonna hold tight on that thing and not give it a little bit of a extra strength. And then I'll mark, I think I'll put I was wondering whether I should put the motor mounts going along the way or going like across, and I think I'll go with the across, because I don't think they'll interfere with anything there, and that'd be okay. Now you see I haven't drilled any holes for the motor yet, but that's I can fuss with that a bit later, I think. Okay, that's all for now. I'll just carry on. Yeah, there I made a little steel brace for in behind. Like it's got an angle like that. Oh, let me show you. Can you see that? Yeah. So it'll go right up there, like that. And then I've got the holes drilled in here, and they'll meet up with the holes. This meets up with the holes on the mounting bracket. So anyhow, I'll give that a try and see how it works out. Yeah, so now I've marked all the holes where they should go there, and it might, when I actually get those things in there, it might pull the hull up a little bit because the hull's a little bit warped. See what happens. Don't know. Yeah, there's a couple of those things in there. One here, one here. I put a little bit of this gasket goo on them just to sort of give them a chance to be glued in there plus. So I've got the guide holes, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and I got goop all over everywhere. And this little tool here is what you get the rivet things in with. So I'll do another 2 and I'll film it for you. Hang on a minute. Yeah, so here I am. Now, there's it. Oh, there my finger's playing, eh? Yeah, so I've got that the thing in there. And here's the tool. So I'll just, I make sure there's enough grease on here and grease on this so that it doesn't bind in there anyhow. Then you just stick that in there, screw it into the receptacle, right? Put it over here like that. Then you turn it in with a 7/16 inch wrench. And it'll tighten up against the inside of that hole. Like that's tight there now. And when you loosen it out, like it's got a hold of the fabric there. That's in. Here's another one. Is that pointing the right way now? Yeah, so right in there. I'll do this one. So you just start it going, try and keep it straight, but it'll straighten itself out eventually once it starts. It's like a pop rivet. And you can feel it tightening up in there. You don't want to go too tight because it kind of bends the shaft if you go too tight. You don't get a straight down screw thing. There. So they hold pretty tight on there. I'll do the other, got 4 more to go over here, plus another 1,000 around the machine here, but for now just 4. Yeah, so that's part of the structure now. That's pretty good. And it seems that did pull the hull up without any difficulty at all. Like the hull is pretty thin there, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just I'll put a bunch of Loctite. When I put it all together, I'll put a bunch of Loctite on all those things and make them stay that way because I don't want to put too much pressure on them, just enough to, so that it's part of the system. See what happens. What the hell? Worst thing that'll happen is it'll fall apart. So I've got this thing here painted, fake aluminum, right? Anyhow, I painted it just so it won't be so prone to be rusting. And I'll get that stuck on after a bit here. Whoops. There we go. There now. That's on and that's solid. Feels good. And everything came up flush okay. So that, I don't think there's not a problem there now. Well, I don't think there was a problem there to start with. So that seems to pull the hull up. The hull's pretty thin right around there. And only one layer, like a couple of layers, 1/8 of an inch. It's not like other areas where it's 1/4 inch, like underneath here. So then I put this on the top here, and that's where the fan will go here, and the motor goes back there. And then I also, like I put my metal brace inside here so that it holds it up tight. And now what? Now it's I'll get the fan and I'll get the motor bits, stick them on, and then start bringing the pieces in to see how it's actually gonna fit together. What I have to do some construction on the front here, because the old fan was a smaller diameter than the new fan is. So I'll show you. I'll get it and I'll show it to you. Yeah, so here now, the motor will sit in there, and we'll see how that works out. I think it'll fit in there. We'll wait and see. Anyhow, this there's the old fan here, the orange one, and you see the new one's like a good 1.25 or 2 inches longer, right? So quite a bit more, fan comes out of that. But I think there's it's reduction gears on it are like 3-to-1, so there's more fan but less turning, right? So we'll see how things work out. Don't know for sure what'll happen. Yeah, that'll make a nice wall hanger later. So now I have to, you see where the cowling formerly went to here, and so it's got to be lifted up that high, and it's got to come out quite a bit more to make room for the fan in there. So that'll take some construction. I'll get the other piece and put it on here. There's a piece that goes on the front, and I'll show you what it looks like till I start fixing it. Yeah, so there now you can see where the fan comes up above the cowling. Like the cowling will sit another inch or so higher when I've got it squeezed in. But so what I think I'll do is I'll cut the cowling along here, and same on the other side, along here, just right along that black line there, one of those black lines. Then I'll add in a section about this big. Well, you can see how big it's got to be. It's got to be that plus 2 inches, right? So whatever that plus 2 inches is how big a section I'll add in. And then I'll have to do the same on the top here. I'll have to make a cut, maybe right down the middle here, and add in a bit of a section so that it'll be wider. Then once that's solved, then I can figure out some way to make it so that it meets here. It'll have to come down and meet there on the back. Anyway, that'll be my challenge. This thing here, I'm not, I might be able to, again, bulge it out here, right? Same line, put in that much again. I guess we'll just see. And then that has to be all joined back together again. So, let's see what I have to do. Anyway, I guess it's, now that I've got that in, I want to lift the motor over here and make sure the motor's going to fit into that spot. And then I think that the motor needs to have a radiator, which might just sit right between these two things because it'll get lots of wind there. Anyway, we'll just see what I do. Yeah, so here's an idea of what it's going to look like. This is the old cowling that goes around the fan shroud, call it. I'll call it that for a better term. Looks like it's got about 1 centimeter on each side, so 2 centimeters extra. The new one will have to be, so the first thing I have to build is a new one of those. And it has to be that big to make it around the new fan. I'll just get the new fan and put it on there. Hang on. Yeah, so there's the new fan. So it's got to fit. Oh, I can likely make this slightly smaller because that's right in the middle there. Yeah, it's right in the center. So it doesn't have to be, it can be just a tiny bit smaller. Wait, I'll get my measuring tape and figure that out. Where's that at now? Yeah, so here now it's got like 4 centimeters all the way around. Can you see that? Where's the tape? There it is. 4 centimeters basically all the way around it. So likely I can get by with 3 centimeters. So that would be, take away 2 centimeters of this. One from each side, right? Anyhow, but that's, what I'll do is I'll build a new cowling as best I can. I think I can do that. I can likely fashion most of it out of wood and then use that for a mold. Figure it out. Anyway, that's going to be the challenge. I'll make it something like that. And that'll be a challenge too. Might have to do some metal work. I'll do some metal work so I can get a decent mold. And then once that's done, then I can start building the cowling around here to be the right size. So I don't need to have the fan in here anymore. I'll put the fan somewhere safe so it doesn't get wrecked. And when I have some help, I'll get some help to bring the motor over and see that it fits in there okay. Okay, that's all for today. I'm quitting time today. The doggies had enough of it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, so here I am back at the Hurricane. And so the new fan is going to go up higher like this. So I had to, and it has to have a shroud, something like that around it. So I built myself a mold for this thing here. To make that shroud. Now I was just building like out of whatever you call that stuff, wire mesh. But that wasn't working out very well. So I decided I'd go and make one out of wood. Now what I'll likely do is I'll likely put some wire mesh around the whole thing and then put the what do you call that? Put the fiberglass to that, because it's got to go down and then out. There's got to be like I built this. Where is it? Oh, where is it? There. This is how the bottom section goes, like this right here. So I'll just use that for the bottom section, and that will make it where the fiberglass has to go. Okay, I'll likely get that started right about now. I'll just clip that off and put it on there. Then I'll put wire mesh around the rest of it so that it's the right length of, or the right width. It's got to be like that wide. Then there's got to be a lip coming out. So I imagine I can do that with my wire mesh, seeing as that's pretty solid. Yep. Okay. So that'll be the next step, which is just keep on working on it. I'll have to get the grinder out and do some grind off some of the blurs and the wood. Okay, there you go. I don't know what time it is now. Might be quitting time already. That was a whole day's work. Whoops. Well, it's only 4:42. There's a nice birdie there. Anyhow, that bird there was a red tanager that was in the garden out here one day, posing. Yeah, so I guess at the very worst I've got a tabletop, eh? Anyhow, or a drum, or something. Anyhow, I took the grinder with 24 grit and I went around all the edges and smoothed that off so it'll be reasonably smooth. And now I've got to figure out how to keep the fiberglass from sticking to that. I guess that'll be a YouTube thing, right? Find out what's going on with that. Anyhow, I'll be looking it up tonight. I think that's it for today anyhow, so I'll see you again tomorrow perhaps. Yeah, so how are the little birdies doing today, I wonder? I saw the mama in there feeding them. Can you see them? Well, they want food. I want food. Well, their mama's coming around. Wondering what I'm doing, right? Yeah, there you are. See how they are. Yeah, so here I've got my helper inside here today because it's raining out, and I'm back on the Hurricane, right? Now I've made this is kind of a mold for a new one of those things right there, cowling. So I can go along and put the fiberglass all along here, and then I'll worry about getting this thing here. It's got a bit of a lip in the bottom of it there, but I'll have to worry about that later after I get the circle. I'll make the circle first with a pretty good flange around it all the way, and then that'll be a good start anyhow. Yeah, so I decided that I'd do a little bit more work on the mold before I put it into molding action. Now I've filled in all these gaps here so that it's a full 3 inches all the way around, and that'll be pretty well close to what this one was, about 3 inches. I'll measure that and see. Then that will be the round bit, and I'll set it up so that I can do it all at once with the square bit too. See what I can do about that. Okay, I'll show you as I get along. Yeah, there, so I've done wax paper all the way around it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I'm doing. I have no clue about what I'm doing here. I've never ever done this before, so we'll see how it turns out when I'm done. Okay, I'll carry on. I'm going to mix up some resin now and start doing some fiberglassing. See how it goes. Yeah, there's the first round of fiberglass. Yeah, I obviously have never done this before and making a mess of it. Anyway, I'll just see how it works out. I wanted to get something down just to get it a bit rigid. So that'll make it rigid, and then I'll work on getting it better as I go along. Anyway, here you go, that's the start. So we'll see what happens next. Yeah, so not as awful as I thought it was going to be. Starting to harden up. I don't know, like it'll likely be overnight before it's hard. Over here I made a mess, but if I have to, I'll just cut that out and make a new mess. Mostly though, that sort of gives me an outline there to get started with, so that's what I can do. I'll just start layering on. I've got the wrong stuff. This is sort of finishing matting. Should be that woven matting that I'm using instead of this stuff. So perhaps I'll go get some different matting and see if it makes it any better. But it also goes through one pile of resin. I don't know, maybe I should thin it out a little bit. Apparently you can thin it out a bit, and then the hardener makes it easier to get soaking the stuff. Anyhow, but that's coming. Hey, cool. Yeah, here's a couple hours later, maybe 3 hours. It's actually hardened up pretty nice. So now that being done, I'll have to do some trimming and cutting and fixing and get everything into so that it's flattened down nicely. And then I can carry on building my circle. In fact, I might be able to just get it to hang on there all right. It looks like the wax paper business works. Keep it from sticking to that anyhow, which may be a good thing or a bad thing, but that's how it is. Good enough. Okay, I'll leave it at that for today, and we'll get some more done tomorrow. Yeah, so there's sort of proof of concept anyhow. This piece here, which is round, right? And I think it's big enough. I'll maybe check it against the propeller, make sure. And then, but now I let it harden. There was a few spots on it where I didn't do a very good job of getting it up against like here. I really made a mess here. I imagine it's salvageable, but I think I'll have another go at it. I've got some woven fabric. I went and got some woven fabric, and this comes in a roll like that much, eh? That'll be much easier to deal with, trying to make it onto here. So I'll put like 2 or 3 layers on, then I'll start putting the side up, and that would work. That would work well, I think. We'll just see. And I'll use that other material, this kind of material, for putting the side up. Just see how that works out, but I'll get a strong base with this material here first, and that should work. We'll see. Anyhow, it's time for more wax paper. Eh? But the wax paper works. Everything is, it all peels off of here pretty easy, and it's in the garbage over there. So, proof of concept, anyhow. Oh, hang on a second till I get this thing off me, off my face, up on the chin. Anyhow, I didn't do much filming on this stuff because I got going, and then you just can't stop when you're going. So I figured it out that this type of stuff here is a godsend. So I went around twice around the perimeter of it with that. Then I started using the other kind along the edges. Then I put a layer of the other stuff down. So it's getting pretty good now. And then I've made this so you get a 90-degree angle here by putting, like that's got wax paper on it. That should hold it all right. And mostly I think it's going to be okay. I'm gonna tomorrow I'll have a look at it, and I might have to make it a few more layers thick, but I'll check out the internet tonight and find out like how many layers it takes to get 1/8 of an inch, because I want about 1/8 of an inch. So then I'll have to try to figure out how many layers I have on there, right? Anyway, but that's okay. I think it's going to work out okay. I think it's going to be fine. So I went to the store, the actual boat store today, and I got a couple of polyester resin, 2 gallons of that, and a couple of measuring cups. So you measure it up in here. Oh, and yeah, I'm getting goop all over my hands. So you measure it up in here, and I've got like I take a 1/4 liter of the resin, and for a 1/4 liter of the resin you need, I had to throw that in here, 2.5 milliliters of hardener, which is in this jar here, and that works out easy. So I'll just leave that in overnight, and well, I better not, because that'll ruin my thing, right? It'll take all the numbers off it. So there. That's all right. That's sort of cleaned out. So that'll be good. Anyhow, didn't get much filming today, but I did get some progress today. So I think I have well, I'll see tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I have a method that works. And if I do, well, that'd be good. And if I don't, well, I'll try something new. Anyway, there you go. See you later. Yeah, so I just checked with Google, and it's Friday. I thought it was Thursday all day. Oh, what do you know, eh? Friday, another Friday goes by. So I think I'll just put a movie out with what I've got done so far. I've got a little bit of progress, and there's enough footage that you can see what's going on. Anyhow, this is the episode 2 of the Hurricane Hovercraft, and it seems to be, I think I'm getting somewhere with it. So, hope you enjoy it all, and come on back and see some more next week. Bye for now. Yeah, so May 23rd, Buster report. Hey, haven't had a Buster report for a little while, I don't think. Been some bad weather and some in-between weather, but it's nice today. Things are even looking good at the decorations. These ones are a little bit hidden in the trees. Maybe I'll clean that out someday, right? We'll see. And the blackbirds are doing their stuff down here. New bridge looks good. There's a boat out there. I don't think you can see it, it's too far away. Speedboat of some sort. Yeah, so there you are, May 23rd at the Cove. Looks pretty good. That's all for now.